Girls in real estate, girls in real estate. Oh, where we gone for happy hour?
Hello everyone, this is Bees in Business. I'm Brenda.
And I'm Beth.
We're coming to you from
Taicoon Media Lounge.
Girls in real estate, girls in real estate. Oh, where we gone for happy hour?
Hello everyone, this is Bees in Business. I'm Brenda.
And I'm Beth.
I'm a risk consultant at McGriff.
And I'm the PR manager at Taicoon Property Partners. Speaking of Taicoon Property Partners, we have a very special guest today. Buckle up because we've got a real treat for you. We're joined by someone who's making major moves in the commercial real estate world. He's a visionary, an innovator, and a true leader in transforming properties from meh to magnificent. Meet my boss, Hai Chien Wang. He is the CEO and co-founder of Taicoon Property Partners.
This guy's a game changer. With over 15 years of experience at a global real estate firm, Hai Chen mastered everything from acquisition and execution, taking properties from C class to top tier, Class A. And let me tell you, his work isn't just about bricks and mortar. He's sustainably a rock star, taking ESG rankings and making sure that every project has a lasting impact.
And it's all about the vision for Hai Chien Wang. Whether he's managing large complex projects or leading the way with innovative solutions, he's always thinking big. Plus, he's got not one, but two master's degrees from Columbia University in real estate development and architecture and urban design. So you know he knows his stuff.
This is going to be such a great conversation. And without any more hesitation, hi, the man himself.
So, hello, Brenda and Beth. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here, and I'm so excited to sit here in our Tycoon Media podcast studio that will first introduce to our tenants and all, to the all business owners. Um, the intention for us to build this podcast studio is to help small business owners who are so committed in their daily job who don't even have time, yet marketing is so important in today's business world. And we're trying to launch a platform, have them spend a couple hours with us, and then they can have multiple clips and have a social presence and to help them continue to grow their business. We always believe that the backbone of every economy is the small business owners, and we hope the small business owner thrive and the entire economy will thrive. And hopefully, this is a good start, and we're very excited to launch this studio.
Yes, definitely. And thank you for allowing us to record Bees in Business in this magnificent studio that we're sitting in here today.
Girls in real estate.
All right, now jumping back in. So, hi, I feel like I don't know much about your background. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started in real estate?
Yeah, so I think the story goes back to how my grandmother raised me. I grew up in a middle class family. My parents live paycheck by paycheck, and uh, I spent most of the time with my grandmother because I was the first grandchild after 30 years in the family, and also my both my parents are full-time teacher and they need to take on more courses after class to make to cover our home expense. So I end up going to a number of meetings with my grandma, kind of see how she managed and how she run the meeting, and also how she understand at that time women is minority, and she understand use her influence, and she's always well dressed. Back in the time I grew up, she's probably one of the most well dressed women in my town.
Oh,
She understand, for her she's interesting. So from I think I definitely pick up some like a marketing um I guess thought or marketing like ideas from her because she always speak appropriately. So uh, those are the things that as I grew up, I start to see those are some little things that, planted in me unconsciously. I guess, some of my entrepreneur spirit came from her because I was so inspired by her. And she also kind of pioneered the brokerage concept when in my hometown. So back then, because she was so actively involved in politics, she got appointed as the mayor of that small town.
Oh
At
my
that time,
gosh.
he's not elected; he's got appointed by the party, by
Right.
the ruling party, and because she got appointed by the party as the mayor of the small town, mostly like a military family. Uh, she knows, who owns what and who needs to buy a piece of land to build something. So she kind of like naturally connect the buyer and the seller and
Mm-hmm.
do some brokerage business. And ended up like my childhood home that I grew up
Mhm.
was built through her brokerage commission.
Wow.
So I
Wow.
think that's kind of probably the most direct and relevant uh impact on me as far as
Right.
coming into commercial real estate.
That is quite the story.
So your grandma was definitely like the biggest influence,
Yes, yes,
specifically in real
in
estate.
real estate.
Yeah.
No, and that really is, I mean, I have goosebumps. I mean, because
Crazy
think of
story.
Taiwan in the
Yeah.
1920s and,
Right,
going through all the upcoming decades of 30s, 40s, and 50s, like
right.
that is a very different time from
It's
where we are in
different, right? Yeah,
2025.
yeah,
So to be that prominent and well dressed
right, right,
on top of it all, I
right,
mean,
right.
this is truly an icon, as we like to say.
Love it.
And it's really cool to
Yeah.
hear that story and to know that
Mm,
that's sort of what like made you who you are today.
Very inspiring.
yeah.
Yeah.
So another thing is that, I guess, but the thing is that when you were a kid,
Mhm.
you sit next to her and people describe her as demanding. And now as you kind of like grew up, you know that when you want to do a good job,
Yes.
you have to be a
Yes.
perfectionist. You have to be
Yes.
demanding. Sometimes you have to be tough to deal with.
Yes.
And but as a kid, you just heard some, some good and bads and saying, "Oh, she's a tough cookie."
Girls in real estate.
All right. So now that we're back, let's hop in to some of our specific projects that we have going on.
Yeah. Can you walk us through your process when starting a new development? Hi.
So, for example, the building we're sitting here at 1899L. It's well located in a very fully amortized neighborhood on 19th Street called Restaurant Row,
Mhm.
and 2 blocks away from a number of major transportations. And for this building, our strategy is value add and reposition and to elevate the current condition from B getting close to A minus or A. The With this approach is that we're seeing that the flight to quality happen across the board, not just for the top Fortune 500 company. We see that they is kind of just try to reposition and build a better workplace to also help those less resourceful, but the majority of the business owner in the market who wants to also keep their talent to build their culture to have a good quality office space.
Right.
Once we identify the location, once we identify the project, I think we also need to go into a thorough study of the location, the context, and what's the market demand there. Do you do that conversion to convert to apartment, to convert to hotel, or you think that this has great bones and
Right.
great layout that we can retain and with the office tenant after we renovate the space?
Exactly. Yeah. We work on that all the time. It's
Exactly.
so interesting, really, to like really take in what all of the information is about the building and the location, and then get to pick what we think would fit best. Like, is it going to succeed as this, or is it going to succeed better as that? It's so interesting. I love it.
Right. And it's all just based on assumptions, right? Like you can't force a tenant to come into, I mean, I know some landlords are trying to buy tenants, but it's all just forecasted assumptions that you're making on will this work?
I think in a way yeah, we have to take some risk, but another thing is that once you fully read the context of where you're in, you have a better feel the programming of it. For
Right.
example, in some well-located property, it may be an ideal candidate for a hotel conversion opposed to modernized office space.
Right.
So it really kind of depends on what your surrounding is, and also it also comes down to cost. But the way I'm looking at cost is that we should be obsessed with the quality of product first, and then laying out the best quality product for each asset type, then do the budget accordingly and see which one is more feasible. Then that usually will become the highest and best performance strategy for you to pursue.
Right.
Do you want to talk a little bit about some of our specific projects that we have going on? So you kind of mentioned 1899, but do
Right.
you want to talk about specifically what we've done with this building, maybe?
Sure, absolutely. So, when we first took over 1899, our building occupancy is in the mid 50s, and the prior owner has done a pretty good job renovate the lobby, renovate the lower level, and the area they have touched, they've done a great job. However, I often like to say, uh, the most challenge asset to manage is hospitality, because as hospitality, you try to win them every night. Multifamily, you try to win them, say, from 3 months to 12 months. Office used to only have to win the tenant 5 to 10 years upon lease renewal.
Right.
So because of that, we have a lot of dated inventory in office space.
Yes.
And then now that the technology and the hybrid work become here to stay, how do you make it more attractive to let the business owner to have a place to collaborate and to build a culture become critically important? So we start to think about, like, how do we bring value to our tenant in the building? We on our fourth floor, we're sitting here, we kind of convert a office space to a well-equipped podcast studio, and we're also going to build out a photography studio inside our office building. So the thinking behind that is that we hope that for the building tenant in our building, that they also have the convenience to market their brand. They can just come down, spend a couple hours, even have a headshot in a photography studio. Sometimes this type of work with additional coordination arrangement may take a few days to a week, but now they just need to come, they can get it done in the building for an afternoon.
Right.
So we think that really bring the value to the tenant.
Yeah.
Another thing that we do is that we kind of utilize the existing layout and create second conference center in the building. As we all know that with many office owner going through the right sizing, they don't need so much space in their office, yet they sometimes they do need to host uh meetings with more attendance.
Right.
So what's kind of a little bit unique we do here is that we kind of utilize the existing layout and we create a second conference center, and to allow them to have more flexible and use the space in the building. So I guess fundamentally what we're trying to achieve here is that we keep asking ourselves, how do we bring value to our tenant? And then another there's a number of little things we do here. For example, our concierge in the lobby, she can almost greet every tenant by their first name.
Yep.
And then this experience together.
Right. No, and it sounds to me like, some of the more larger institutional players out there could take a page out of your book.
Mhm.
And what I'm hearing from you is that hospitality element, right?
Yeah.
It's that people interaction where, as you said, the concierge knows your name, right? You have amenities tailored and really creatively open to tenants that will try to drive you and make the office space a little bit more dynamic. And
Exactly.
something like a photo room or a lounge, a media lounge to recording podcasts is adapting to some of the things that people are doing today. But also, the second conference room, right? If you're coming back to the office, you're coming back to the office to gather, to meet. So really just, it's 2025, we're post-pandemic, we're in a technological world. As you said, how do we measure all these things and not just say, hey, you're going to have to drive an hour or 2 hours in traffic to get to the office? No, this should be a place you want to come to.
Like the tenants meeting each other is really important, and just kind of creating a community. So in addition to having all of these new amenities,
Community.
creating the community around the amenities and making sure that everyone's excited about it, and showing them. We're going to have people come into the podcast studio and kind of do an introduction to get comfortable in the chairs and like kind of picture themselves in it, like really creating the hospitality bond in between all of these new amenities that we're offering and all of the tenants, and making sure there's a good relationship there.
I think we're willing to take on a little bit broader approach, not just thinking about ourselves, thinking about building in this urban block, thinking about the overall urban context, and also think about, when they come into our building, what type of experience or what type of service they're getting from us. We're kind of trying to package as a complete full service instead of just focus on one thing we do very well. We hope that they feel the difference when they come into our building.
Goes in real estate.
Do you want to talk a little bit about 1501 and
Sure.
our office to residential?
Yeah, definitely. So that's our kind of like a first major acquisition in Arlington.
Made quite the splash.
Oh yeah, all the news.
Yeah. Again, it goes back to the strategy for each location.
That is a
It's
great location.
It's a great location,
Right.
within 10 minutes walking distance to the metro, and easy access to 66 highway and a couple traffic light away from DC.
Right.
So with such a great location, uh, surprisingly, the best programming for that location is somewhat limited. The reason I say so is that you probably heard that this used to be the headquarters of Air and Space Force Association. They've been there since the 80s. But if we look at the entire commercial building allocation along RB corridor, they are all on the south side of Lansing Boulevard.
Yep.
This one is the outlier, happened to be on the north side of it. So it kind of disconnect from the major commercial corridor, and it kind of stand alone and then back with the over like 100 townhome units.
Right.
So to reposition it or to value add and try to retain it as a office space will be nearly impossible because you're not in the main office kind of corridor
Right.
in Arlington submarket. However, the programming become kind of critical important in order to have a successful project. So what we kind of eventually come up with the idea is to redevelop with a hotel branded residence. The reason is that we are very respectful to our neighbor behind it. They're also kind of in a more of a residential setting, and a hotel branded residence fit in that pocket very well.
Yeah.
If we propose a high density multifamily project on that corner, yet it's buildable, it's feasible, it would probably affect the intersection quite drastically. That's where most of the townhome owners
Right.
rely on getting in and out, connect to the major route. So we kind of, after several round of brainstorming, we feel this kind of relatively low density, medium density, high quality residence will blend in with the overall neighborhood context very well.
Yeah.
And we feel this is actually, and not only that, that again tie back to our thesis. So we are not just about deliver a good building, we also think about the environment. So we have some bold suggestions, such as, remove a portion of the sun wall
Mm-hmm.
to improve the safety along Custis Trail. Another thing is that because at the intersection, you already have a bowl valve, reduce traffic from 3 lanes to 2 lanes. So we also suggest that where the bowl valve is, see if we can also eliminate that lane. So we create a wider green medium that increase the tree canopies, provide a better, trail experience for the neighbors, for the bikers, or for the commuters who will kind of ride past there.
Yeah.
And it's very fulfilling that you feel it's not just develop your own project. In the
Right.
meantime, you actually improve the area where you're located.
Yeah. And that intersection is like seriously the world's most dangerous intersection for bikers and pedestrians. And so it really, like, that is going to make a huge, huge difference, I think. I'm very excited for that project and all of the community benefits that we've been really working hard on.
Goes in real estate.
All right, so recently, Hai has been featured in a Washington Business Journal article about everyone coming back to the office. Do you want to talk about some things that you've noticed with that? DC has been packed.
Yeah, I guess we all experience the traffic congestion on the road.
Yeah.
Right.
And another interesting that we've seen is that the demand for amenity space and for conference center really increased quite a bit.
Right.
We see that it's a right sizing exercise almost across the board for any sizes business. And we see that many tenant now that have like a similar budget ones have better quality space. So what they do is that they downsize the space they rent, but they went to a much more amenitized and a better quality building, so they can house those hybrid workers when they come back.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, they can provide the best amenities to for their talents to feel, different when they come back to the office.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the major trend that we see. And we also see that many well-funded landlords now are expedite the process to build out smaller suites, because um, with the to today in today's working environment, keyword is flexibility. So most of the employer are adapting to this new work environment and uh, do not need the same square footage they need 5 years ago. They want
Yep.
a
Right.
more smaller suite, much better quality, well amenitized building, and that has the flexibility to use the conference space and other amenity in the building when they have a larger settings or larger, group meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So right sizing, flight to quality, and what was the third one?
Uh, Smaller suites.
There we go, spec suites.
Spec suites.
How could I forget spec suites?
Goes in real estate.
So Beth has mentioned this philosophy that you have about one life, one team. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about what this means to you and why you believe in it?
Yeah, so one life, one team is kind of how we run our business here and how we build our culture. Uh, Forget is that we only live once.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
the most important thing is that how do we create a culture that everybody can feel fulfilled
Mm-hmm.
in this life journey?
Yeah.
But as we know that to fulfill your life journey, or to accomplish your dream beyond your job description, you need to have a solid financial backing.
Right.
It's not like, okay, I have 3 dreams, I'm gonna go do it. But most of the time, you need to have financial support to feel that this is you feel worth it going through your life journey. So that's when the one team concept come in. We have a team of professionals with different talents, and we all work together toward the same goal. So we create a very competitive and also very talented team, and then it become almost like a revenue center. So we kind of like find craft our skill set, and you find a niche in this business world, and we work together as a team. We can bring in the revenue. This way all our staff can have the resource and can also have the time to accomplish something they want to accomplish beyond what we have done, during the time together in the office. So that's kind of the philosophy here we practice in Taicoon. Take Beth, for example. Now she's also coaching lacrosse.
Yep.
And some days that she'll leave a little bit earlier. However, if you kind of don't use a traditional 9 to 5 to restrict her, she probably will not be as happy staying at Taicoon. I think at the end of the day, business is about people, and it's about people building a good team together. Then you have a good company.
Yeah.
So as long as we kind of can have the same goal and understand the vision and work together, it from my perspective, if they're not in the office from 9 to 5, I'm totally fine. As long as, we understand each other, we accomplish the task, and then we uh we get things done, and when we go through our, our routine Monday meeting, then this is a very functional and operational company. And the rest of the time, I give complete freedom to them, because that's how they feel fun about working here, because they see the progress here we make as a team, and then the spare time they can do something they really like, they enjoy.
Time is flying constantly, right? But
Yeah.
so the importance of this ties back to making the office space, if we're talking office, better, feel better, right? That's what hospitality is. It's like, but then now you're talking about the team itself. It extends to the individual companies and that collaboration and, Beth being able to go and coach lacrosse.
Yes. And
you
host a
know,
podcast.
and host a podcast.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
it's like if you can find a way to do what you love, then you are happier. And that's a far-fetched dream, right? Like we all have to do things we don't necessarily enjoy doing.
Exactly.
But like if you can have that communication with your team and value each other's time and life.
And
Exactly.
strengths also.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It becomes easier to, like you, as you said, be more motivated to do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you definitely bring, because like I say, work and life is all integrated. If you feel good at work, if you accomplish something you feel good about, you bring in good energy back home.
Right.
Then I have better family relationship.
Right.
I think, like I say, this is a nice virtuous cycle that you will be more balanced in the way you're happier, and then it in return you bring in good energy, and the entire team will fit in each other with good energy.
Exactly.
I feel like this should be our scoop for this particular episode. If you're watching here today, one life, one
We
team.
need to make sure. I think we need One Life, One Team merch.
Goes in real estate.
And now for the fun stuff.
Yay.
Brenda, cards down. So, hi.
Yes.
I know you are a huge sushi fan. What's your favorite sushi place in the area? Where do you go? Where's your go-to?
I think I really enjoy Sushi Nagasawa, and Nagasawa is located on the basement level at the currently called Astoria Waldorf Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And they have their first store, like I believe, open in New York, and they came down to DC right before pandemic, and my wife and I went there for our Valentine's Day lunch there in 2019, February 14th. We had
Oh,
a great time there, and I also got a chance to meet the chef. It's probably my favorite sushi place in DC.
yeah.
There are a number of other like good places in DC, such as Sushi Taro.
Mm-hmm.
They have like a great omakase, and another one close by to our office is the Kiyomi Sushi inside International Square.
Hmm.
They have like a small sushi bar there. Only can sit probably 10 to 12 people.
It's always packed.
It's always packed during lunchtime, and it's reservation only for dinner time because it's have limited seats,
Yep.
and it's usually like a book out like 2 weeks ahead, and it's a
Yeah.
yeah. I would say probably these three are my favorite sushi places.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my favorite question.
Okay.
What is your favorite happy hour or cocktail spot that you like to go to?
I guess because my work style and my son is only 8, and I normally skip happy hour and just go pick him up directly. So I'm probably not the right person to answer that, but I think I can kind of like provide a little bit details that we are we are we're in the process of designing a really unique and great place for happy hour. We'll have like a nice like indoor outdoor bar, and it will be a great place to hang out after work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I look forward to hearing more about that soon.
Very soon, hopefully. But yeah.
Well, thank you, Hai, for joining us here today.
Thank you.
It was really very phenomenal to get to sit here and learn a little bit about you and sort of your perspective on things. So thank you for joining us on Bees in Business.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me, and I hope that after the show, we also kind of inspire some small business owner and feel that how easy and how user friendly this studio is.
Yeah.
Give a shout out to Quincy,
Yes.
our
Yes.
producer. Yeah, the difference of our studio is that we have producer on demand,
Mhm.
so they can really come in like me, first time seeing a studio, just to have a conversation and to help them to have social media presence.
Yeah.
So I hope really kind of also we can inspire a lot of people to see that, and they want to grow their business. This is a good option for them to consider, and to be also very budget friendly as well.
Yeah. And we are your one-stop shop for all your podcast needs.
Exactly.
Reach out to your girl Beth for
Yep.
more detail.
TaicoonMediaLounge.com.
There it is.
But yeah, so
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.